Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that answers all your stock-related queries. In case you're here for the first time, well, the WhatsApp number is flashing on your screen. Send me all your questions here along with your name, location and your contact details. I'll be happy to address all these questions with our top guests who will be joining in on the show shortly. Of course, you can also log on to our YouTube channel, that's Business Today. Go on to the Daily Calls Live. Use the comment section there to send me your questions. I'll be happy to take those as well with our top guests on the program as well. Let me quickly look at the markets for you for today and we'll slowly and gradually shift to all the question and answers round as well. 24 points lower in trade on the Nifty. 24,800 is back on the show with us as far as the markets is concerned. Now let me look at what's moving the markets at this point. Well, you still have a very few pocket that you have still with the gains. Pharma, FMCG, autos, oil and gas, these are the only sectors that are holding up, but real estate has drifted lower. It's now at the low point of the day. You can clearly see about a 2.5% point of a drop on this one. Media stocks are down, private banks are down by over 1%, metals, IT, even the broader markets have now slipped, especially the small cap index that's now down by about 0.3%. Even the banking names are down and trading with some losses. What's happening on the Nifty? Shriram Finance post earnings continues to be on the top spot, 2.7% higher. Cipla post earnings 1.7% higher. Hero, Grasim, Tata Consumer Products are the other top movers. On the lagging side, Kotak Mahindra Bank, after a weak set of numbers, it's now at 6.5% lower, trading at 1983 odd levels. Wipro, BEL, Bharti Airtel and Titan are the other top laggards in trade right now. Looking at the F&O space, it's Laurus Labs that's holding up today. We are also looking at Poonawalla FinCorp, that's another one that's jumping up, and Emphasis. Again, post-earnings move that continues for all these stocks in trade. Let me quickly look at what's happening on the Nifty Broad index of Nifty 500. Now here we have a lot of stocks that are holding up pretty strong. Sudarshan Chemical Industries is higher in trade by almost 12%. Car Trade Tech from the recently listed, new age tech companies, that's up by 11%. Omax Autos is up. Vimta Labs is also higher. Menon Bearings, a lot of these auto ancillary names are holding up. Acme Solar post earnings is higher. Sterlite Technologies is also holding up in high single digits. You can actually look at Exicom Telesystems, that's also up by 7%. Laurus Labs we marked out for our viewers. Hind Rectifiers is another one that's up in trade. Omax as a group I believe is higher. Then we can look at Paradeep Phosphates, that's another one that's also holding up, and Aadhar Housing Finance post earnings. So a lot of those earnings reactions that we can actually look at how these stocks are moving up in trade. Sharp 5 to even 15% kind of moves being seen on the higher side. On the lower end, what's not doing well in the Nifty 500 basket? Well, you can see Kelton Tech Solutions continues to reel under pressure, 10% lower for trade as far as this stock is concerned. Let's also pull up Paras Defense, RPG Life Sciences. Today that's down in trade. You're also looking at names like even Home First Finance Company that's down. Supreme Engineering that's down. Some of the Anil Dhirubhai Ambani group stocks, they're also continuing to reel under pressure. Reliance Communications is down by about 5% in trade today. So that continues to reel under pressure as well. So that's how the Nifty 500 basket is clearly panning out. Let's also look at some of the PSU names that are holding up in trade. Railway stocks, you have IRFC, Power Grid, NTPC. You have Indian Oil Corporation, BPCL from the oil and gas basket that's also holding up. Within the Nifty next 50 names, you will find a lot of momentum in the Adani Group stocks today. Adani Green Energy is higher in trade. You also have names like Dabur, Varun Beverages, Swiggy and Tata Power. These are all the stocks that are holding up in trade. Let's get our guest on board to ask some queries on the markets and to answer your questions now. We are welcoming Jay Thakkar, Head of Derivatives and Quant Research, Vice President of ICICI Securities, now joining in. Hi Jay, warm welcome. Good afternoon to you. Your first take on the markets now. Fresh and new week has started. This is the expiry week as well. How would you look at what's happening in trade?
Good afternoon to you, Sakshi, and thanks for having me back on your show. As far as markets are concerned, I had a very clear call, Sakshi, which I had, in fact, discussed with you last time on your show, is that the IVs are likely to expand, and they are expanding. The reason is that the implied volatility for the last 1 year had come to its lowest level, wherein it had fallen below 10 on Nifty, it had fallen almost to 10 levels on Bank Nifty in the IV and IVR, that is IV percentile, and IVR, that is IV rank, had fallen below two levels. I mean, it cannot go in negative, it cannot go below zero. This is generally traded within a range of 0 to 100, and you can say the lower band is 10 and the upper below the lower band and going as low as Sakshi, I would say 0.4001 clearly indicated that volatility is likely to bounce back. And if that happens, then 70% of the time market falls, 30% of the time it goes up. So, I mean, this time around went in the favor of 70% and markets corrected. Now, where is the support from here on? It's at 24,600 on a Nifty. That's very, very critical support. And actually, as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, that is 56,000. So 200 points from here on Nifty, and 350, 400 points on Bank Nifty are the critical support levels. Those levels can be tested in this volatility. And today also we have been seeing the up and down. Okay. The only favorable thing that could be going forward, Sakshi, would be the net long position of FIs is also at this extreme. I mean, it's towards the lower end of the range. And generally, whenever the net long position of FIs is this low, markets basically bounce back quite sharply. So I think that if 24,600, 500 levels basically are tested on Nifty, or 56,000 levels on Bank Nifty are tested, or some panic around those levels is created, I think that would be a good time to take a contra bet based on the FI net longs.
Okay, let's also welcome Raghavendra Singh is joining in on the program also to discuss more about the markets, and then we will start the Q&A round with both our guests for all our viewers to see. Raghavendra ji, warm welcome, good afternoon to you as well. Tell me any key stocks or any strategy that you would want to adopt for the expiry week?
Sakshi, I think most of the stocks are bound around 20 days exponential moving average and below that. So I'm expecting few stocks to get bounced, especially Reliance Industries, Motherson Sumi, Kalyan Jewelers, and I think the IT pack, Infosys, TCS, I'm expecting to get some bounce back, uh, considering the expiry week. So in this expiry, I'm expecting these 3-4 stocks to get some bounce. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट देखिए अभी बहुत से स्टॉक्स ऐसे हैं जो बहुत नीचे आ चुके हैं, तो बेटर है कि अभी फिलहाल एक्सपायरी के बाद उसमें एंटर करें, बट ये जो 3-4 स्टॉक्स हैं मुझे लगता है इसमें बाउंस बैक अच्छा आ सकता है.
ओके, गॉट दैट. चलिए इसी के साथ सवालों के सिलसिले की शुरुआत करते हैं. लॉट ऑफ आवर व्यूअर्स आर जॉइनिंग इन ऑन आवर यूट्यूब चैनल. वी हैव Shomalia, Nancy, Anuj, Jaya, Ankur, all of them joining in on our WhatsApp, on our YouTube, and on our WhatsApp also we have a lot of questions already pouring in from Raghu, from Teja. Warm welcome to all of you. Tanmay, thanks for writing in your questions right at the beginning. We'll start off with YouTube. Shomalia Biswas from Kolkata writes in, I have 12 lots of 25,200 call option at 20.8 of Nifty, 31st July expiry. Jay, I'm going to take this up with you. What do you think should be done? Should it be held on to or not? 12 lots, 25,200 call option at 20.8, 31st July expiry for Nifty.
25,200 is what it is, Sakshi, right? The call option?
Yes.
I think one should be exiting it, or what else could be done, because see, it's for this weekly, which is the monthly series, Sakshi, and as I said that from the lower levels you can see that sharp rebound. So right now 25,200 call option is sitting at the levels of 18 rupees. Sakshi, it's 18 to 19. It's I mean, nothing much to do out there. So what one can do is sell 25,300 call option, which one can sell it at 12 rupees. So even if market goes down from here on, the loss will be 6 to 7 rupees only, because we're already selling 12 rupees higher call option right now. Okay. And suppose if market bounce back, okay, then I think until 25,300 you still have a good money. You have a limited upside. In fact, the aggressive traders, what they can do, Sakshi, is that sell 25,300 as well as 25,400, okay, at 11 and 7 rupees. So what will happen is the total will be 19 rupees, which is currently 25,200 strike price premium as well. So 18 रुपये आपका है 25-200 का कॉल का, एंड 18 रुपए आपको दोनों कॉल बेचकर मिल भी जाएंगे। तो ऊपर आया तो ठीक है, नीचे गया तो आपको कोई लॉस ही नहीं है। एंड दैट इज द बेस्ट थिंग यू कैन डू ऑन द वीकली एक्सपायरी। आई मीन यूर, if only and only if Nifty goes about 25,400, 500 levels, thereafter there can be some loss or unlimited loss. तब तक तो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं है. So I think you can sell these two options to hedge yourself.
Okay, got that. I hope, Shomalia, you've got the answer to your question. Next, Nancy writes in. She says, good afternoon, Raghavendra ji. She wants to ask you on GE shipping. The price at which she has in her portfolio is 978. She says Friday was already ruining the trend for this stock. What exactly should I do on GE shipping now?
देखिए साक्षी, पिछले हफ्ते भी हम लोगों ने, मैं क्या था, इस स्टॉक के बारे में डिस्कस किया था। 900 रुपए के रेंज में था। मैंने उसी समय कहा था 850 तक का एक लेवल है जो लगता है मुझे आ सकता है। बेचने की राय नहीं है, क्योंकि ये जो अभी अभी फॉल है, क्योंकि ये 25,000 के नीचे आएगा ये कोई एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा था। बट अभी फिलहाल जिस हिसाब से अभी मिड कैप, स्मॉल कैप, लार्ज कैप सब में सेलिंग है, ये अभी एक्सपायरी वीक में रहने वाला। वैसे एक्सपायरी के बाद देखिएगा, मेरे हिसाब से अभी फिलहाल इनको बेचने की राय नहीं है। होल्ड कर सकती है तो आप अभी अभी इसको होल्ड कीजिए, कोई इशू नहीं है। अच्छी कंपनी है, आपको अगेन 10.5 मतलब 1050 और 1100 के रेंज आपको जो है देखने को मिलेंगे बहुत जल्द।
Okay, let's take another one. This one is from Anuj Singh. He says, good afternoon ma'am, good afternoon to you Anuj. The question is on Strides Pharma. Jay, I'm taking this one with you. इनके पास 942 के रेट पर हैं, कुछ 100 शेयर्स हैं स्ट्राइड्स फार्मा के। पूछना चाह रहे हैं इसका क्या टारगेट और स्टॉप लॉस रखें?
First of all, Sakshi, I would, as a disclaimer, say that it's a non-FNO stock, so I will be providing more of a combo rather than derivatives you out here. And quantitatively, what has been observed is that the volatility bands are in fact shrink quite a lot in Star as far as this standard deviation is concerned. And I think after taking off the levels of 760, 770 on the upside, it started to expand as well, which clearly indicates that the overall trend in the medium to long term is positive. In fact, the stock is trading well above the all-time high levels of 670, 700 as well. So I think a huge consolidation, multi-year consolidation, and thereafter multi-weeks consolidation has been broken on the upside, and overall pharma doing good as well. I mean, today also, if you see, then Lupins, Cipla, Alchem, Dr. Reddy's, I mean, all of those names are doing good. So in the short term, Nifty Pharma looks positive, whereas as far as Star is concerned, that is twice. I think overall trend out there is also positive. I mean, there is a very high chance that the stock moves into the 4-digit figure now, and the upside target on the locked scale could be as high as 1100.
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question. Let's take another one. Jay Rami Reddy wants to know about E2E networks. Raghavendra, to you. He says, I'm holding 500 shares of E2E networks. My price is 5,225. What to do now? Shall I add more at the current levels?
Sakti, actually I don't track this stock, but as far as technical chart is concerned, stock is hovering around 2400. इन्होंने 5000 पे लिया हुआ है।
हाँ जी, 5200 के ऊपर लिया हुआ है, अभी 2032 पे आ गया। आज
2000 के
5% तक
आसपास
के लोअर सर्किट पर है।
साक्षी देखो, ये जो है एकदम या तो लोअर सर्किट या तो अपर सर्किट वाला है। अब 5000 से लेके 2000 तक रुके हुए हैं, तो इतना लंबा नुकसान में रुकना मुझे नहीं लगता कि समझदारी है। बट एनीवे, अब यहाँ से तो बेचने की राय मैं नहीं दूंगा, क्योंकि अब पता नहीं, अभी ये स्टॉक में मैं कभी ट्रैक नहीं किया। बट मेरे हिसाब से अभी जो बेस लेवल है वो 1800 का है। दिस स्टॉक कैन ब्रेक डाउन टू 1800 और एक बार वहां पे शायद अगर इनको ऐड करना हो तो वहां पे ऐड कर सकते हैं। बट मेरे हिसाब से इनको 1800, 1900 के रेंज के लिए वेट करना चाहिए, बेचने की राय नहीं।
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट हमारे पास अंकुर मोदी का सवाल आया है। लिखते हैं, हाय साक्षी, गुड आफ्टरनून, होप यू हैड अ ग्रेट वीकेंड। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आस्किंग अंकुर, एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई हैड, एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई also hope that you also had a good time over the weekend. The question is on CDSL, and he wants to know that whether buying CDSL at the current prices will be a good idea. The prices have already been correcting, and also this is in focus because in this week alone we will also get NSDL IPO. Raghavendra ji was with us last week, and he has given a big thumbs up to NSDL IPO for all our viewers. So I'm going to toss this question to Jay now. Jay, CDSL for you. What is your outlook? The prices have been correcting. What should be the strategy now? And amidst NSDL IPO buzz, what exactly are you telling your clients? CDSL or upcoming NSDL?
Well, Sakshi, as far as CDSL is concerned, from the derivative point of view, it clearly indicates the shorts are getting built up here. I mean, the stock was clearly facing resistance around the 1800 levels. In fact, it has now moved below the max pain level, so that will act as a resistance. And there has been a good amount of call accumulation or call writing at the high levels, clearly indicating that on the upside there's going to be good enough supply. There's not enough put writing to support the price fall, and hence, you're seeing again the stock is down by more than 4%. In fact, I would say the critical support level here was 1600, and below those levels till it sustains 16 to 1650 level is a very critical, resistance levels actually. And till the time the stock is trading below those levels, I think it's likely to test the levels of 1400 now, and below 1400 it can test 1200 as well. I mean, overall trend is definitely negative in CDSL until 1650 levels are not taken off. I don't think that from the short term trading point of view one should be owning this. And as far as long term is concerned, the stock is good for the long term for sure. But then, either one can look for it maybe beyond the levels of 1650, 1700, or if there is a deeper correction in the stock, say until the levels of 1400 or 1300, there is where one can actually review it, before going long.
Okay, fair point. Let me just quickly take some questions now from our WhatsApp that we are getting from our viewers. Tanmay from Ahmedabad writes in. He says, "Good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon to you, Tanmay." He says, "I have Allied Digital Services in my portfolio, priced at 120. Raghavendra ji, for you, what exactly would you say on Allied Digital Services?"
ADSL वन ऑफ द बेस्ट कंपनी, मुझे लगता है बहुत अच्छी कंपनी है ये। और 120 पे लिया है तो बहुत अच्छे लेवल पे लिया है, मेरे पास भी है। पहले तो मैं ये डिस्क्लेमर दे दूं, मैंने भी अभी यहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत ऐड किया हुआ है। आप लोग भी चाहते हो तो ऐड कर लो। आपको फिर से ये 300 के लेवल दिखाई देंगे बहुत जल्द, एक से 2 साल के अंदर। लॉन्ग टर्म का व्यू रखिए, कंपनी अच्छी है, होल्ड कीजिए इसको।
ठीक है। नेक्स्ट हमारे पास सवाल आया है रघु का, हैदराबाद से। लिखते हैं, हाय साक्षी, हैप्पी मंडे टू यू ऑल्सो रघु, गुड टू हियर फ्रॉम यू। द क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट वोल्टैम्प ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स जय। दिस वन ही हैज अ लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू, 4 to 5 years, wants to know whether current levels will be good to invest in Voltamp transformers, currently trading at 8630.
Well, it's actually the overall trend out here has been negative. The momentum has been negative. Con perspective, I think that there has been a good bounce back as well in the stock. There has been a retracement of almost 50% of its previous fall, and the weakness have again started to come in or settle into this stock. In fact, we have been seeing that the volumes during the uptrend were missing. Initially there was a good volumes, but then at the later end, the price and volumes data didn't have or not were not in the sync, clearly indicating that the rally seems to be just of a bounce back kind of a nature rather than a fresh leg up, which indicates that there is a high chance that the stock now falls towards the levels of 7,000 at least in the short term. So I see around 15 to 20% dip in the stock, until unless it's not taking off 90 200 levels actually. So for me the trend is down negative from the short to medium term perspective.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped you out in getting an understanding of how to go forward with this one. Next, we have this question from Teja from Nellore. Raghavendra ji, he has a question on Trident, one of the very frequent questions that we get. This one is that he says, I have 6,000 shares of Trident at 53. I can actually hold on for 10 years. Is it advisable? What's your suggestion?
10 साल होल्ड कर सकते हैं। 10 साल के बाद मुझे अगर यही रेट मिलेगा तो क्या करेंगे, ठीक है।
Exactly.
अभी अभी जो पिछले 4-5 साल से तो इसका रेट वही है, 30,000, 30 रुपए, 40 रुपए, इस रेंज में ही है। तो एनीवे, इसके अलावा और भी कंपनीज है सर, आप उसमें भी जो है इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। बेटर है आप उधर जाइए। अभी मुझे बहुत ज्यादा इस स्टॉक में बहुत ज्यादा अपसाइड नहीं दिख रहा है। 4-5 रुपए का अपसाइड है, 10 साल का व्यू है, तो इससे बढ़िया और अच्छे स्टॉक्स हैं। 10 साल अगर आप उसको रखोगे तो पैसा आपका ऑलमोस्ट डबल ट्रिपल तो हो ही सकता है।
Okay.
तो बेटर है उसमें जाइए।
Okay, got that. Let's take another one. This one is from Jay Shiv. He says, this is a very useful show for us. Thanks, Jay. Let me toss your question to your namesake, Jay only. The question is on AB Capital, Aditya Birla Capital. And the question is that I'm holding this stock at 275. Can I hold or sell? Do I average? What exactly is the suggestion on Aditya Birla Capital right now trading at 257? He bought it at 275.
Well, I think that currently we are witnessing long unwinding, and from the short-term point of view, the trend looks negative. The derivatives data clearly points out that the stock might head towards the levels of 250, and thereafter, if those levels are broken, then there is no major support until 240. From a medium to long-term perspective is actually definitely the stock or the financials or banking and financials are likely to hold. From the medium to long term, there is no worry. But from short-term point of view, if someone has bought at 275 and if last two digits are interchanged from 275 to 257 right now, I think there is a risk if someone is having a leverage position. So either write the call option on the upside in the August series of around say 270 or 280, something that kind of a thing. You can do a hedge strategy or probably exit.
Okay, got that. Taking the next one. This one is from our viewer. And okay, yes, Vineet Kulkarni is asking a very important question, and this one is on the IT sector. He says, what is the huge impact that you're expecting on IT sector looking at TCS 12,000 employees layoff? Raghavendra ji and Jay, let's discuss this a bit as well.
Sure.
This was the biggest news that we actually got over the weekend, and this is historically the biggest ever layoff that TCS itself is planning 2% of its workforce globally. Not a direct AI impact that the company says, but they want more agile, future ready employees. And they also say that, of course, they have tried to re-employ, they have tried to reskill and upskill a lot of their employees, but many could not be probably utilized in terms of where else transition could not happen for many of them, and which is why about 12,000 people are likely to lose their jobs over the next 1 year on TCS, and that's the big warning that's already come in. Raghavendra ji, how do you see this big news with respect to TCS and the IT sector?
साक्षी देखो, ये न्यूज तो बहुत पहले से आ रही है कि यहाँ पे आईटी सेक्टर में प्रॉब्लम है एआई की वजह से। एआई एक इतना बड़ा थ्रेट हो चुका है आईटी कंपनीज के लिए कि वो एक्चुअली उन्होंने ही बनाया और वो उनको ही जो है प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहा है। तो ये तो सबको मालूम है कि आईटी में एआई की वजह से बहुत सारे जो है जॉब जो है लॉस होने वाले हैं। बट जो टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करेगा, जो जो लोग नई टेक्नोलॉजी को सीख लेंगे, उनके लिए जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटी भी ओपन होगी। बट इट इज अ बिग कंसर्न। अभी ये हमने यूएस में देखा, बाकी यूके में देखा, इंडिया में भी ऑलरेडी ये ले ऑफ पहले से ही स्टार्ट है, 6 महीना पहले से ही हो रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बड़ा थ्रेट है और ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम आगे जाके हो सकता है कि हम लोग मतलब हमारे जैसे और भी ऐसे लोग होंगे जो इसकी वजह से इफेक्टेड हो सकते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये आईटी कंपनीज को अभी ये आने वाले 6 से 8 महीने जो है, मुझे नहीं लगा कि बहुत बड़ा कोई अपसाइड है, बहुत बड़ी कोई जो है आने वाले 1-2 क्वार्टर में बहुत बड़ा कुछ बहुत मतलब रिवोल्यूशन होने वाला है कि स्टॉक प्राइस बहुत ऊपर चले जाएंगे। मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा अभी अवॉइड करना चाहिए और वेट करना चाहिए। 6 महीने वेट करिए, देखिए और क्या क्या चीजें हो रही हैं, उसके बाद फिर से दोबारा एंट्री कर सकते हैं।
Okay, Jay, what about you? How will you approach the IT sector after this news?
Well, actually, overall, the trend has been negative in IT. I mean, there are a couple of reasons for it. One is definitely AI. Second is the, US outlook about the US. I mean, right now the stock markets have been, making good lifetime highs out there. Main reason is that, they factor in the, the profit or maybe the improvement in their debt because of the tariffs as well as dollar being down, so the interest burden is also less relatively as compared to when dollar was at 100 plus levels or maybe 110 plus levels rather. So things rather I would say has improved globally. Now the geopolitical tensions are also low, but now what sanction of now the EU deal is done. Otherwise, there was a lot of global tariff tensions, and because of which the outlook for the IT sector, which has a clear focus on US and Europe, was not clear, and still is not clear. I would say until unless things settle down. Of a derivative point of view, we have seen a lot of short positions that has got added, and when company do not Sakshi, do not provide good numbers as far as increment is concerned, and on top of that, when the company removes or lays off employees, clearly indicates that if their view or the commentary for or the guidance for the future is positive, then the action is not meeting the same, right? So I think the guidance was just provided well by the Infosys rather than Infosys. I think most was sideways to negative only. The guidance is as far as guidance is concerned. So I think that the when the company like TCS, I mean, although they're having more than 5 to 6 lakhs kind of employees, so I mean, this layoff is just 2%. But when such thing happens, clearly indicates that management is not eyeing any positive outcome for their business, at least in a few months or few years or few quarters down the line. That clearly indicates that if that business is going to take hit, margins are going to be under pressure, then why would one be invested in this kind of company? You can definitely do SIP so that you accumulate at the lower levels, but you cannot do lump sum right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. I hope viewers and Vineet, you've got the answer as to how our market experts are looking at this. Raghavendra ji, before we let you go, any key stock suggestions from your side?
No, ma'am. अभी तो फिलहाल नहीं है. मुझे लगता है अभी थोड़ा wait for the expiry week है, so we can definitely look for a few stocks which I discussed earlier. And whatever stocks we have discussed in this show, that can be recommended to our client, and that can
Okay.
be there in my portfolio. Thank you.
What about the expiry levels? What do you expect this week to pan out for Nifty?
Again, I'm expecting expiry near 25,000 because I don't think Nifty should break down below 24,700, 24,600 level. So again, I'm expecting expiry to be between 24,800 to 25,000 level.
Okay, got that. Thank you so much, Rakhavendra ji, for being with us on the program and helping our viewers out. We'll continue
you
our
so much.
conversation with Jay and we'll take the next question. This one is important. This one is coming in from Vinod Kumar. He's from Hyderabad. He says, in this falling market, I want to know about Karur Vysya Bank. 100 shares at 193 odd rupees is what I have. I want to know whether I can average up at this price, or can you also suggest any future entry levels on this one? Banking space at large has been under pressure because of rising credit costs, NIM compressions that are coming in, huge higher provisions as well. So the banking space has actually been under pressure. Karur Vysya, what is your thought?
I think actually, if someone is a medium to short to medium term investor, then one should be exiting this stock because we have seen a good move from 190 to 260 is a good move. But if someone is a long term investor, then I think the stop loss is way below 148, 150. One can safely assume that till 150 levels are held. I think one can keep holding this, but then one has to be in a position to understand that even if it falls below the buying price of 190, one should not be panicking and rather think of adding from the long term point of view. That's how the long term wealth is built. I mean, many times the long term investor have seen their price going below their buying price even after seeing 50% kind of a jump, you know, and they've seen a 50% reduction and then they've seen 5 times kind of a move which happens. So that's kind of long term traders or long term investors how they make money. Short-term traders for them from if the stock falls from 260 to 190 and below is huge. So I think if someone is a short to medium term investor, then I would say either exit or trail your stop loss to probably 250. I mean, if it goes below 250, one can exit. That's for the short to medium term traders. Or for the long term investors, I would say till 140 and 150 levels are held. I mean, overall trend is going to be bullish on Karur Vysya. And I have mentioned this as well, in past, Sakshi, on your show that in the short term, the banking and financials can face some hit because of the repo rate cut, CRR cut, because their margins are going to definitely take some hit. But from the long term point of view, I'm sure, I mean, as their borrowing cost also reduces along with it in the lines, there is going to be more of credit offtake because of which the probability of higher PAT is quite likely. That will take some time, a quarter or two or maybe three, which will definitely have all of these banking and financial stocks to do really good.
Okay, we'll take another question. This one is from Amir Ali. He says, "Hi ma'am." Hi Amir. The question is on RVNL. Jay. He says, क्या मैं ये स्टॉक अभी करंट लेवल्स पर बाय कर सकता हूँ? अभी रेलवे स्पेस में देखते हुए कोई बहुत ज़्यादा मोमेंटम तो नहीं देखने को मिल रहा है जय, पर RVNL particularly there are some order flows that have been recently coming in. Do you think that's enough to prop the stock higher?
As far as RBNL is concerned, I mean, the stock has recently entered into the what do you say, FNO. And what I think is that the kind of fall which you have seen, Sakshi, indicates that there has been a short build-up out here in the stock. So from the derivative point of view, it's not looking good. From the technical point of view, it's not looking good. The data clearly indicates negativity only going forward. So I think one should be exiting this stock if someone is long, because there are clear short build-up and the trend has been negative in this stock. And the major support now on the lower side is now at 315, and thereafter at 300 to 315 range. So actually that's 45 rupees, and which could be more than 10% kind of 15% kind of the lower side support for the short term traders. I think that's too much.
Okay, got that. Jay, any key stock ideas that you could share with our viewers? Maybe in your research, if they have come up in the last few days or something. What are you suggesting to all our the clients right now?
Definitely, Sakshi. I mean, see, in this overall volatility or volatile scenario, wherein I'm expecting the volatility also to inch higher, expand still from here on as well. I think one place to hide is Pharma, and that's been doing good. I mean, the result of Cipla was positive, good.
Yeah.
Cipla has recovered also quite well from its recent lows. In fact, we are seeing some follow-up today as well. So Cipla is trading around the levels of 1560 right now. I mean, if you look at the August futures, is at 1570. So actually, I think that it has a very, very high chance of making a fresh lifetime high. And the previous highs were around the levels of 1720. So one could still see more than 150 or 200 points kind of a move on the upside, which is more than 10%. So I'm quite bullish on Cipla. That is one of the stock which I like from Pharma. And second would be Laurus Labs. It is up by 7%, so not today, but anytime there is a dip in Laurus Lab, one should be eyeing to buy this. That's from the long-term point of view. So Laurus Lab I like from the long-term positional point of view. Cipla from the medium-term point of view, and from the short-term point of view, I think Lupin, which is trading around the levels of 1964-65, can see a good bounce till 2050. As a disclaimer, you have a buy recommendation on Lupin, and we have recommended to our clients as well. So pharma pack overall looks positive, and among that, short term, medium term, and long term, these are the three stocks: Lupin, Cipla, and Laurus, respectively, is what I've mentioned. So theme for today's Nifty Farm.
Okay, got that. So three stocks, all from the pharma healthcare pack. You can clearly look at Lupin, Cipla, and Laurus Labs from Jay's recommendations that are coming in. Thank you so much, Jay, for being with us on the program
Thank you. It's
and
always a
helping
pleasure, Sakshi.
our viewers out. Always a pleasure. All right, viewers, getting into the second segment of our program, then let's welcome Osho Krishnan now, Senior Research Analyst, Technicals and Derivatives at Angel One, joining in on the program to share with us his views on the markets and, of course, to answer a lot of questions. Osho, we'll start off with the questions and answers round, and we'll come to your broad view on the markets a little later. The question that's coming in for you, Osho, is from Arihant Pavpant. He wants to know about two stocks. One is Indian Overseas Bank. Here he has a position at the rate of 50, and he asks, or SJVN, that he has bought at 101. Wants to know which one should he hold, which one should he exit, what exactly should be the strategy. Banking space, renewable energy space, completely two different sectors.
Very good afternoon, Sakshi. Firstly, thank you for inviting me at the show. Well, yes, there are these two are very different sector, and both are into a kind of a corrective phase on the technical front. But IOB, on the other hand, is looking quite uh, lucrative at these levels, because we have seen a very decisive correction from the zone of nearly 70-75, and now the counter is hovering in a very strong consolidation around the zone of 35. So I expect that these levels are quite lucrative for discounter to start accumulating. So I expect that from here onwards the downside is limited, although there is no very strong resurgence that has been taking place in this counter, but the downside is quite limited in this space. So I expect that on the lower zone, 36 to 35 should be acting as a strong support for the counter, while any breakout above the zone of 42 can provide a very strong momentum in the coming period. So I expect that IOB can see some kind of positive momentum in the coming period from a short to medium term kind of a point of view. So above 42, one can definitely expect a decent momentum towards the zone of 48 to 50 from a medium term point of view. Now coming to SJVN, then this counter has been hovering again towards the cluster of moving average, and there has been no positive development in the recent period, but there has been a kind of again consolidation that can be seen in this counter. Overall, I will expect or I will advise to have patience in the counter. Once we see a decisive breakout above the zone of 100, then only we can see some kind of positive momentum in this counter. While on the lower end, again, the downside seems limited. We are having a very strong bearish gap around the zone of 92. So I expect that 92 should be acting as a very strong support for the counter, while any breakout above 100 can provide very strong momentum in the coming period.
Okay, fair point. Osho, we have the next question that's coming in from Radha. She says, can you please help me with Muthoot Finance, a target and a stop loss that you could please suggest on this? We've been seeing gold prices slightly lowering in the last couple of weeks also, but let's try and find out how the gold financier, Muthoot Finance, is being seen on charts.
See, overall, this counter is at its lifetime high. This year, we have seen approximately 25% of momentum in this counter, and that has been very vertical in nature. But in the past 1 month, the counter is having a kind of a consolidation, or we can say that on the higher end, the momentum has fizzled out in this counter. So one can expect some kind of profit booking in the coming period. But overall, the technical setup still is on a positive front. So I will advise to keep a strong trailing stop loss towards the zone of 2600. That should be kept as a stop loss for now. If there will be any correction below the zone of 2600, then we can see it further plunging towards the zone of 25 to 2450. So better to keep a stop loss of 2600 and hold on to this counter from short to medium term point of view.
Okay. Next, we have this question from Sandeep Jain. He is from Kishanganj in Bihar. He says, hi ma'am, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Sandeep ji. The question is two-pronged. One is on Apollo Microsystems. He wants to know, I have this stock in my portfolio at 195 levels, and the other one that I have is from the Midcap IT basket, that's Quick Heal Technologies. This I bought it at 360 levels. So let's discuss this one by one. First up, Apollo Microsystems bought at 195. Right now it's at 165. What should be done?
See, overall, Apollo Microsystem has seen a kind of a strong breakout from the zone of nearly 155 in the recent period in the month of May. And from there onwards, it has been into a very vertical rally, and now the counter is into some kind of profit booking. So I expect that 155, which was the breakout zone, now that should be acting as a kind of a support for this counter. Although as the breakout was very vertical in nature, so there is a higher possibility for this counter to retest the zone of 155. So buying price, if is at 190, definitely there is a kind of a huge dip that one can expect in the short term period. But from a medium term point of view, one can stay holding this counter. Even any kind of dip towards 155 or 150 should be seen as a buying opportunity. So my advice will be to accumulate more on dips towards the zone of 150 from a medium to long term perspective.
Okay, fair point. Let's take another one. This one is from one of our viewers. That's Gul from Kerala. Gul says, hi Sakshi. Hi Gul, how are you? The question is on CDSL. She says, I purchased this stock at 1260 for 1 year, and now NSDL is coming up with the IPO. So how should I move forward? Should I sell CDSL, look to buy NSDL? What exactly should my strategy be? How would you advise? This must be one of the questions that most of your clients must also be asking, Osho.
See, I basically see that both are kind of a correlated to each other, but both have different kind of a business setup. One is into a retail segment, one is into institution segment. So accordingly, one should not have very strong comparison between both the counters, but looking at the overall setup, that one can say CDSL, yes, no doubt, can see some kind of cool off or profit booking from here onwards. But on the lower end, I expect the zone of 1450 to 1400 to be seen as a very strong support from a short to medium term point of view. So any dip towards the zone of 1450 should be auguring well for the counter, and one can look for buying opportunity at that level also. And coming to NSDL, then yes, no doubt the counter is coming at a very lucrative valuation zone. So definitely one should try to subscribe with the IPO allotment. But once they get published, then we need to have a very strong review that whether which counter is looking positive or not. But as of now, both CDSL on the technical front is looking quite positive to me. Some kind of profit booking might happen in coming time, but that should be auguring well for the buyer. So any dip towards 1450 should be auguring well, and one should try to accumulate at lower level.
Fair point. I hope this has answered your question. Let's take another one. This one is from one of our viewers, and that's Munish Gupta. He says, "Hi Sakshi, I want to know about Aster DM Healthcare or Max Healthcare. Which of these healthcare stocks is better for the long term?" Could you look at the charts, Osho, and tell us? Aster DM, it's been showing us some strength over the last couple of sessions. This one or Max Healthcare? Which one looks much more promising on the charts?
See, comparatively, both are looking very positive. They have a very strong secular uptrend, and both are into a very strong higher highs, higher lows kind of a technical formation on a weekly time frame chart. So, valuation wise, on the technical front, I will say that Max Health is looking quite lucrative at these levels, and I expect that any kind of dip towards the 50-day exponential moving average, which currently lies around the zone of 1200, 1220, that historically have seen very strong support. So, I expect that this should continue in the near period, and again, as the momentum is on a positive front, the outlook is on a positive front, so one should stay invested in these counters. But comparatively from both these counters, that which is expected to have a higher ROI, so technically I will be having more bullish view, although both counters are very bullish for me, but more bullish view on Max Health from a short to medium term point of view.
Okay, fair point. Taking the next one, this one is from one of our viewers, that's Ankur Modi. He says, "Hi Mr. Osho, can you please suggest to me on Imagica World, can this stock cross 100 levels after the June quarter 1 earnings?" Now this space has been a laggard, Imagica World, from the entertainment basket. Any sort of indication that the stock is poised to move higher?
See, currently this counter is looking very weak to me on the technical front, because from a very elongated period, the counter has been below the 200-day simple moving average. So there has been no respite or no resurgence that has been seen in this counter. So overall, the short-term view remains on the sideways to negative front. But from a medium-term point of view, till the time it hovers above the zone of 60, that should be acting a kind of a support for this counter, and one can expect a consolidation in the short to medium term perspective. But from a longer term point of view, one should wait for the counter to rebound above the zone of 72 on a decisive manner. Then only from there onwards we can see some kind of positive momentum coming back in the counter, because overall this is not a very lucrative counter and not very much attractive for from a trader's point of view. So one should wait for a sustainable breakout above the 200-day simple moving average, and once it happens, then only one should try to enter into this counter from a medium to long term point of view.
Okay, let's take another one. This one is from one of our viewers, and that's the question is on Niva Bupa, bought at 84, or ITC Hotels, bought at 200. Which one can he hold on to, Niva Bupa or ITC Hotels?
See, both of the counters on the technical front are looking positive to me. Firstly, for Niva Bupa, I expect that as the counter has been into a positive terrain in the recent period, so I expect that any dip towards the zone of 82, 80 is a very strong support for the counter and should be auguring well in the coming period. While on the higher end, if it gives a sustainable breakout above the zone of 92, then we can witness a very strong momentum in this counter. So 80 and 92 is a range for this counter. Any breakthrough on either side can provide a strong momentum for this stock. While on ITC Hotels, then this hospitality sector has been into a very strong momentum. It has taken support from the 20-day exponential moving average, and there has been secular positive trend in this counter. But overall, the technical setup resembles kind of a overbought terrain. So one should remain cautious in this counter and trail their profit till the momentum persists. For now, 230, 225 is a very strong support zone, and till it sustains above the same levels, one should have a positive outlook in this counter.
Okay, fair point. Let's take the next one. This one is from Sudhanshu Maheshwari. He says, "Hi Sakshi, I'm actually looking forward to getting my question answered. I bought Dabria Pollywood at 120 levels, and I want to know I can continue to hold on for next 3 to 5 years. What could be the target and stop loss for this one?" It's a small cap company, Dabria Pollywood. Currently it's trading at 405. If you look at last 6 months, 1 year chart, it will not be very encouraging. But if you look at the last 5-year chart, you'll actually witness that how the stock was trading in just double digits. under 30 odd levels back in the year 2020 during COVID period, and how the stock even shot up to what 500 odd levels as well, 520 odd levels in say August of 2024. Thereafter there was some consolidation and the stock has again started to pick up. Osho, any suggestion on Dhabria Bollywood?
See, honestly, I do not track this counter and I do not have any strong technical outlook for the counter as of now. But as even I cannot find the counter on my trading terminal, so it's better not to have any kind of view in this counter for now.
Okay, got that. Let's take the next one. This one is, we'll take this as the last one. This one is from Hari Krishna. He says, I want to know on JSW Infra, what is the suggestion on this stock? What should be done?
For JSW Infra, currently the counter is into kind of a consolidation zone from a very short to medium term point of view. But I expect that in the coming period, there is a higher possibility for the counter to have a very strong breakthrough. So 320 is a kind of a zone from where we can expect a breakout or a momentum to have on a positive front. So I expect that any breakthrough or any sustainable buying above the zone of 320 can provide a very strong momentum in the coming period. So one should definitely keep this counter in their watch list. I expect that in the coming future, this counter can retest the zone of 355 to 360 and even has a potential to enter into uncharted territory also.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also answered your question well. All right, Osho, thanks a lot for being with us and for answering all the questions of our viewers as well, and of course helping them out with the strategy too. Osho, we'll definitely keep getting you on board and we'll keep looking forward to your suggestion on the markets also going forward. So stay tuned with us on Business Today Television. It's always a pleasure to host you with us.
Same here, Sakshi. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, viewers, and it's now time to shift focus to the primary market action as well. The IPO rush continues on D Street. Week on week, we are getting many companies that are launching their public issues and giving investors an opportunity for early entry by applying to the IPOs. In case you are also looking forward to some of the IPOs that are coming in this week, then we've got you covered, as Pawan Nahar, my colleague, is joining in to share with us everything that you need to know about the big IPOs and the small IPOs that are all hitting the street as far as this new week is concerned. We know, Pawan, we've been already pre-tracking NSDL, the most anticipated IPO that's coming in this week, but I think the list is longer than that as well. Not just NSDL, there are many more IPOs that are coming in. Help us understand what exactly can we expect.
So yes, Sakshi, the list is a quite big list. This week, 5 main board IPOs are likely to open this week, and they will raise roughly around 7,000 crores from the primary market investors. NSDL is one of the biggest IPOs, much awaited, much anticipated issue, it is the largest issue among the 5. And the company is looking to raise more than 4,011 crores from its primary offering, and the issue will open on Wednesday, July 30th, and the price band is set at 760 to 800 rupees. And as we all know that it's a market infrastructure institution and a leading security depository and forms a duopoly with the only peer CDSL. Besides this, we have Lakshmi India Finance IPO, which is opening tomorrow on Tuesday, July 29th, and it's the smallest among this IPOs, priced in the range of 150 to 158 odd rupees. And it's an NBFC from Jaipur, which is into MSME and vehicle finance and construction loans. And it has peers like Five Star Business Finance, SBFC Finance, Moneybox Finance. SBI Security has suggested to subscribe this issue for the long-term high-risk investors for a long-term basis. Now, up next, after we have Aditya Infotech, which is selling its video security and surveillance products under the brand name of CP Plus, and the company is looking to raise 1,300 crores from the primary markets, priced in the range of 640 to 675 rupees. The company has no major listed peers, but SBI Securities has an avoid rating on this issue, while Arihant Capital has suggested to subscribe it for a long-term period. Sri Lotus Developers and Reality, which is also a very anticipated issue, considering its backing from Bollywood celebrities like Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Hrithik Roshan, and the Lal Street celebrity Ashish Kacholia. It's into luxury real estate, commercial and residential real estate, and it's into the redevelopment of projects as well. So it has listed products, listed peers like Arcade Developers, Suraj Estate Developers, and Arihant Capital has a subscribed rating for this issue. Last but not the least, MNB Engineering, which is a 650 crore issue opening on July 30th to August 1st, and the company is selling its shares in the range of 366 to 385 rupees. It's a pre-engineered building material company, and it has peers like Intratech Building Solutions, Penar Industries, and Everest Industries. And we will be giving up more details as and when the IPO will launch on the street.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot then, Pawan, for sharing with us. Our list is clearly long at this point in time, and investors are spoilt for choice. So with so many IPOs that are opening up, 5 main board IPOs this week alone. So you have to definitely get to speak to your own fundamental financial experts, find out where exactly should you be approaching with your hard-earned money there. And of course, Pawan will be helping us through the course of this week as and when the IPOs start opening, with all those brokerage houses updates as well as to what is on the top radar of the top market experts and analysts. Thank you so much, Pawan, for sharing with us all those details. All right, let's go back to the markets. Yet again, we are seeing some market pressure towards the end of the show. We are again back about 100 points lower in trade at the day's low point, 24,734 on the Nifty. Let me just quickly help you also understand what has caused this kind of, a drop right now. Kotak Mahindra Bank, 50 points being contributed by that, 25 points being contributed by Bharti Airtel, TCS, Axis Bank, BEL, these are the top contributors on the downside. And even on the positive side, when we look at an ICICI, HDFC and Reliance Industries, 3 of the biggest weighted stocks that we have on the stock markets, even their green ticks are unable to support the market that much at this point in time. But let's see how this really pans out in trade. Not looking good as we cross over the first half of the trading session, because the markets are again coming under pressure. Let's see how things pan out, and of course we will help you understand what's happening with the earnings conversations. And of course at 3 p.m. I'll be back for the closing edition, so don't miss out on that one. Thank you so much for joining in onto the Daily Calls edition.
Hello and welcome to Business Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi, and we continue our coverage of the historic India-United Kingdom trade deal that's been signed by the two Prime Ministers earlier today. And joining me now, one of the